MegaHerzzz. You're listening to MegaHerzzz on 4ZZZ.
You're tuned into MegaHerzzz on 4ZZZ, and you are listening in the background to River to Sea by local Kellee Green. And I'm Sisi, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm joined in the studio by my wonderful co-host
Charlotte, my pronouns are she, they.
I'm Sarah, my pronouns are they, them.
I'm Claire, my pronouns are she, her.
And the reason that we're listening to this song right now in the background is because of its title, River to Sea, and also generally because it's a beautiful song. But we are talking about this today because we have just found out new legislation coming through Queensland, a proposed bill that will see the quotes River to Sea and Intifada, so I've got the exact wording here, globalise the Intifada and from the river to the sea, outlawed in Queensland, and the distribution, publishing, displaying or reciting are prohibited of those phrases and could impose a 2-year maximum penalty, which as community broadcasters, as ethical human beings, it is an incredible injustice to free speech and democracy. But yeah, we're going to be having a little chat about that. Anyone got any?
Yeah, I am actually quite scared about these laws and about what this means. And as you mentioned, Sisi, this is a proposal that has not yet been proposed. They've proposed the proposal of the laws, so they've just let everybody know that that they will be putting the bill. They will be putting the bill forward, and then the bill will be discussed, and then we'll actually get to see what's in this bill, not just see third hand of what's in the bill through a press release, and then we could actually see what are these laws that they are planning to introduce. But the thing that I'm really concerned about, and look, I'm actually not against hate speech laws at all. I'm sorry, too big a pause there. I should have paused after hate speech. I am against hate speech, and I'm not against hate speech law in principle, and I'm not, I'm not free speech for all and without consequences. I definitely believe that inciting hatred is a bad thing. I can't believe I need to say that. I think it's a bad thing. But what my concern is the quotes of specific slogans that they have chosen, and this press release was put out by the Premier and the Governor-General, so as a joint press release, and in the press release that it has directly stated that phrases such as from the river to the sea and globalise the Intifada would be considered hate speech and would be and using of those slogans would be would be in a give you a penalty for up to 2 years. So and that's up to, so it doesn't mean that's necessarily mandatory, and so far they haven't said what are the circumstances around this. But my concern is that they have picked two very specific phrases to focus in on, neither of which I can find any explanation on how they are hate speech in and of themselves. Like how are these things? How is they're both connected to Palestine. And to particularly calls for freedom for Palestine. The full slogan, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. So it's calling for freedom for Palestine. But when we're talking about, are we talking about now? Are we saying that we can no longer criticise actions of governments? Is that what this is saying? Because that is what this is saying. So that is my concern, and so to call for Palestinians to be free is not inciting hatred or inciting violence. You could say something with that to incite violence or hatred for sure, and any call to arms using that I think needs to be looked at for sure, but needs to be looked at in and of itself. Similarly with globalise the Intifada. So Intifada is an Arabic saying, and which means to shake off one's oppressors. So for people who are oppressed to not be allowed to say, hey, we want to be free, hey, we want to shake off our oppressors, we want to build a resistance, that is really very, very concerning that that might, be the case, because and again, I hate thin end of the wedge type arguments in politics, but if you are saying, okay, you can't say those particular slogans because they're calling for the end of oppression, I mean, how is that any different from saying something like always was, always will be Aboriginal land? So, is that going to be banned as a phrase? Is that considered to be inviting hatred? It is certainly a criticism of oppression. It is a criticism of colonisation. Are we saying that we're no longer tolerating such speech? And are we putting specifically penalties for people who are saying such things? So this is my concern behind the proposal.
Well, it's interesting you say that as well, because we are seeing all of this happen as a response to the Bondi terrorist attack. What is the response to the terrorist attack in Boorloo? What is the response to the man who tried to kill many, many civilians? Like, it is Absolutely. Just showing such a inequality in the way that we react as media and as Australian citizens to the level of threat between them. What's the difference between those two terrorist attacks?
And Christopher Lee also said that he wouldn't participate in a gun buyback scheme as a result, in response to that as well. So clearly he's not super focused on the actual safety of civilians, if that's really, if it really is prompted as a response to the Bondi killings. You would think that would be a more logical
Yes.
response, I would say, given that the people who participated in that terrorist attack also never said that they were pro-Palestinian or had any connection to that, that movement at all. So it just doesn't really seem like a logical leap to me.
No.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot of places, and especially the government is now using, the Bondi attack as an excuse to kind of serve their own political agenda. Also with the Adelaide Writers Festival, it was the same thing happening, where a Palestinian writer was, kicked off the program just before it happened due to just being Palestinian. So it's very much...
And because of past statements that she made on social media.
Yeah.
So this is what they actually cited, was that it was past statements, and some of those past statements were very similar to those that they're looking at banning now. So and using and saying, because she has said past statements about cultural safety, criticism of the government of Israel, they are saying that the link was made by the South Australian Premier that she is then somehow responsible for or connected to the shootings in Bondi, and it's such a leap to make that connection. But now what we're seeing in Queensland, we're going, well, let's make those phrases illegal so that we can make those leaps, so that we can do that.
Yeah, it's very much, I feel like it's definitely an attempt to discourage, the younger generation, people going to these protests and rallies coming up, because there's quite a few, and also on university campuses, there's always those, movements going on. So it's pretty common phrases that you hear around.
And I think things like this would discourage people from participating in protests, from going to these kinds of things, because I think people do have, a general fear of, getting in trouble with the law,
going to jail for 2 years.
Which I think is very logical. So I think it will, actually dampen the movement here, especially in Queensland, because people are going to be, people aren't going to know exactly what's going on, so they're just going to be freaked out and they're not going to want to participate.
Not to segue into this, but I interviewed Remah Naji the other day about the new anti-Semitism bill, and asked her that question about people who are worried about the potential impacts of going along to these protests and feeling like they're going to get charged. And she said that it was, she's beautifully articulate
she's
and
amazing.
an incredible woman, and she's speaking today. But she said this is exactly what the Israeli lobby wants.
100%.
That it's trying to intimidate and scare you. This is a massive win for the Israeli lobby. Do not be deterred. Show up. Come against the genocidal tendencies of this government, and also come along today to the protest. Isaac Herzog is in Australia. He landed in Sydney this morning. There are protests all around the country. At King George Square, 5:30 p.m, there is a protest against Israel's president, and it's a nationwide march. Isaac Herzog has allegations of war crimes and crimes against humanity against him by the International Criminal Court. The UN Commission of Inquiry on, this is off The Guardian, the UN Commission of Inquiry on the occupied Palestine territory has found evidence of war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocidal intent by Israeli leaders, Isaac Herzog included. But yeah, don't be scared. Or do be scared, but it's more
Show up
important that
anyway.
you show up than be scared.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anything else?
So much else, but maybe we need to.
We might have
go
more
for
to
a
say when the actual
song.
bill gets released.
Yes,
possibly.
so we will be reading that very closely when we get that. And I will say that this bill, this is a Queensland bill, so this
Yes.
is different to the one that was recently passed. That was the federal bill. So it was talking about the federal laws.
Yes.
Not sure how they interact with each other. Can you be charged with both? I mean, you
Yeah.
can't be charged with it yet because it hasn't passed. But what's the go there? Not sure. I guess we'll find out. But I was concerned about the federal bill because it does mean that that the minister can, or a minister can name an organisation as a terrorist organisation, and therefore it then becomes part of that law, and they don't have to. I can't remember the word for it. It was like due process, but there was a specific word that they don't have to. They don't have to prove it. They just have to think it, and that was very concerning. But I feel like this proposal, if it is what they say it is even more concerning than that, because they're specifically targeting specific phrases here, and that is very concerning.
So speaking of specific phrases, you're tuned in to MegaHerzzz on 4ZZZ. I just realised just then we didn't acknowledge country at the start of our episode, but there's never a wrong time to do that. We would like to acknowledge that here on 4ZZZ we are broadcasting from the stolen lands of the Turrbal and Yagara people. Sovereignty over this land was never ceded, always was, always will be Aboriginal land. We're about to go into our segment on femicide in Australia, which is incredibly harrowing and incredibly difficult. So if you need to tune out for the next few minutes, please do so. But come back, because we have plenty in store and some good news coming in the rest of the episode. But just for now, treat yourself gently. Over to you, Charlotte.
So, posted by Sherele Moody this morning, only 6 hours ago, we have learnt of the death of a 53-year-old woman. Her name was Bishnu Himali Kumori Gurung, and a man has been charged with manslaughter over her death. So that was in Rivervale, Western Australia on February 6th. She is the 7th woman killed in Australia this year. Sherele always does basically a reminder that she documents all Australian women lost to murder, manslaughter, neglect, and any other unlawful acts of death against women, regardless of perpetrator gender. We haven't got much information about this woman, but hopefully we'll hear a little bit more, maybe from her family or anyone else, about what she was like. Obviously this is a harrowing death. Any woman killed is just awful to think about. So if you're needing a little bit of support this week dealing with the ongoing femicide news, please call 1-800-RESPECT. The number is 1-800-737-732. And just a reminder that there is a petition organised by Sherele Moody around getting basically a royal commission into the killing of women and girls in Australia. So head on over to her website to sign that and do some advocacy around this horrible issue that continues.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Down on me tonight.
You just heard Sexy Motherfucker by Love Thrills. They are on a lineup this Saturday night for Valentine's Day, pinkNOISE Valentines, which is a celebration of love, the myriad forms it takes, and the way it weaves throughout our lives. Songs of queer joy, romance, lust, friendship, family, heartbreak and loss filtered through the lens of our diverse community voices and shot like an arrow into your heart.
Oh, that's nice.
So sweet. And we are lucky enough to have one of the bands, Love Thrills, here with us today. How you doing, guys?
Yay! Yeah, really good. Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much for coming on. Can you give us a little bit of context about that song we just heard, Sexy Motherfucker, what it means, why you wrote it?
That song was our first single. We released it in late 2024.
Yep.
And it was super fun to write. I think it's really just a cheeky song about queer love and hookups and having some fun.
Beautiful.
I'm always interested to know, guys, how you guys kind of formed as a band. How did you know each other? Where did you come up with the idea to be in a band together? Just your kind of origin story. I'm really interested to know.
Well, you can start, Jodes, with the origin, because I wasn't part of the origin. Yeah, that's yours. I'll pass it to you. Yeah. So we had band members previously that brought the band together, and I came in as a bass player. They're looking for a bass player. We wrote Sexy Motherfucker and actually came to Nissa to record it. And while recording, we managed to snag Nissa and chuck her in the band. Yeah, and that's where I ended. Yeah. And so, Nissa joined the band there. We've had a couple of membership moves since then. I mean, we're that classic later in life lesbians, I guess. Although, if you ask my mum, she would have gone, no, you were born that. Anyway, but we're later in our life, so the other members, it's just us two at the moment. Yeah. But the other members were in a stage where things were a bit heavy, and we got dependents and mortgages and stuff, and we're hanging in there as best we can as a duo now, with the others kind of just gone to do their personal stuff. And we're getting other players to come and play on stage with us to still make it as big as Love Thrills used to be. Yeah. But for now, it's just the two of us, just plodding along in between parenting.
So
and
will
life.
you be playing as a duo at the pinkNOISE show, or will you invite some friends along?
Yeah. Full band for that show.
Hell yeah!
Can you tell us a bit more about the pinkNOISE show?
Yeah, so it's this Saturday at the Cave-In. The Cave-In's one of our favourite venues to play. We love Ruth. And it's just such a queer-friendly venue and a really cool vibe. Great pizzas. But Saturday night, it's a Valentine's show. As you said, pinkNOISE is bringing it to everybody. We've got Violet Salt playing, who's kind of like pop, rock and soul. We're really excited to see Bryony Alice come along. She's one half of Salt and Steel duo, so we're really looking forward to seeing what they bring. And Kat Flowers, who brings kind of chill vibes and good storytelling.
Fantastic. What a lineup. And also a little bit of a oddball here. Are you doing anything Valentine's themed? Is there love in the air for this show?
I think it's always love.
After that song.
I mean, all our songs are about queer love and sex and hookups and breakups and makeups and
beautiful.
So I don't know. We're actually going to be debuting a brand new song that's yet to be released on the night, and that will be very interesting because it's not a love song. It's actually. Well, it started as a love song, didn't it? Yeah. Then you get to the end of it and realise that person was not so great for you, and
super toxic, maybe.
Oh.
So, yeah, come along and hear the new track. It's going to be released in the next month or two.
Great. Anything else?
So you guys said that you started this band, you were saying later in life kind of coming to it. Have you guys always been musicians and played in bands across your life, or is this just something you kind of found yourself coming into?
I'm used to talking at the moment. I've always been in music, like busking since I've been 5.
Wow.
And always been part of the music industry as a soloist mainly. And then when COVID hit, I decided to make recording music way more of a thing that I would do for earning my keep and supporting my family. And then I haven't stepped foot on the stage solo ever since. So I've been working with Love Thrills and then working in my studio and, just having a blast. So I've never not been a part of the music industry.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and for me, I was playing in bands as a teenager. I think I was 14 when I was in my first band, playing stages and doing a little bit of recording. Music's always been a part of my life, and writing, it's always been originals for me, and it just feels part of my fibre. It's so great that we get to still do this, now. There's so much more potential for people that aren't 22 to be playing live original music and sharing it with people.
And this is a free event as well, so everybody come down and they can see you for free. So awesome.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Free gigs are awesome.
Yay, we love them.
What a great Valentine's Day date as well.
Exactly.
If you're looking for something to do.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else you want to add, Nis and Jody? Toads.
Just the fact that thank you so much for playing our music. Really, thanks for supporting us.
We love 4ZZZ. We love you guys. Thanks for having us on your show. And please come on Saturday night. I think it's going to be a banger. It's going to be big. It's going to be pretty full. Free, get in there, come early. And it all kicks off around 6. Doors at 6 and the music starts at 7.
Perfect. And
let us know when you've got your new song ready, the song that you're launching on Saturday, because we would love to have it and play it on MegaHerzzz.
Amazing. That'd be amazing.
Thank you, guys.
Last little thing, you have a request for us, Pace It by Magic Dirt. Why is this one special to you?
Hell yeah. Oh my God, Joe's here. I'm just a massive Adelita fan, have been all my life. Magic Dirt was a huge part of my growing up. She is just such an incredible rock icon that just keeps going and going and going. So I really look up to her. This song in particular, Pace It, is one of my favourites. I just think it's so gritty and raw, and the gravel in her voice, the energy, it's too cool.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for coming on the show. You just heard an interview with MegaHerzzz and Love Thrills. Thanks, see
everybody.
them. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You just heard Pace It by the wonderful Magic Dirt, and at the top was Sexy Language Warning Motherfucker by Love Thrills, who we had on for an interview, and they are so amazing. Go this weekend to pinkNOISE on Saturday night, Valentine's Day, at the wonderful Cave-In. We love the Cave-In. Everyone loves the Cave-In.
Everyone should go to Cave-In every weekend.
Yes, exactly. And also, this afternoon, show up King George Square, 5:30 p.m. to protest Isaac Herzog. Go along, 4ZZZ community, stand together.
Call for the global intifada while you still can.
Yes.
You should still do it.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening to MegaHerzzz. We'll be back again next week. Anything else, anybody?
Bye-bye.
Have a lovely week, everyone.
Isn't that what feminism is about?